Hi, my name is Mike Honan. My website is mikehonan.com, and today we're going to be talking about should you borrow money to start a small business or to start your small business? And to make this video very short, the answer is no! I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm not kidding about saying no, don't borrow money. I'm kidding about yelling into the microphone. Don't borrow money. And especially when you're starting a business, there's always times where there is going to be financial pressure on your business, and having to pay back money on top of having the financial pressure is really going to put undue burden on you. And starting a new business, there are always these what I would call speed bumps, issues that pop up where you're going to need cash, all the cash infusion you're going to have to invest back into the business. And if you have these big high interest or having to pay somebody back or a bank back or credit cards back, it's going to put extra pressure on your business, and not having that is going to be a blessing. And if you do, for some reason, if the business fails, then you've got this loan on top of it. It gets very ugly. It's great if you can just start lean and mean, put some cash in your pocket when you're starting out. You're not having to pay people back. Better to start lean and mean and grow your business from the bottom up instead of trying to go big time and buying and incurring debt and having things that you don't really necessarily need. You don't need a new truck. You don't need a new car a lot of times. Most of the time you don't. You can start out with something smaller. You can find leases that are favorable. You can find places that have been empty. If you're starting like a retail store location, you can start business online for next to nothing. Now, a little bit trickier getting going up front, but you don't have a big upfront cost. So yes, do not borrow money when you're starting out. Very big mistake. There's always ways when you get into it, when you begin looking around for property, for locations, for buildings, you can always find someone that's got empty space somewhere that they would be willing to let you have month to month or with short leases. Don't get into real heavy, long 4 and 5 year leases when you're starting out. I would really recommend you look around your area. If you need space, whether retail or commercial space of some sort, there's always people around that have space that they'll let you use either on a short-term lease. Not everybody. I mean, you're not going to get primo locations, but we were able, when we were starting out, to find really good, acceptable locations that we were able to work with for short-term, 1 year retail commercial leases, which are short. And, we were able to secure these. They weren't in the most popular spots, but they were good spots. They worked. It was good enough for us. And we kind of made it work. We built out all our own stores. We did all the labor, with the exception of a few things like, we hired subcontractors. But I just worked with guys that had contractors. I had a couple of partners that were contractors at different times, and so we were able to do a lot of this stuff. And that's what I encourage you to do. Find ways to work it out. Look, when you get into it, you would be amazed when you really start looking and asking people. You will find people that will work with you. They'll have space that they need leased out, even short term. You might even be able to get month to month, which is great. There are some problems with renting month to month. If you start doing well, they can start raising the rent for one thing. So you want some sort of short-term lease. You want it in writing. So definitely get your leases in writing, to protect you and to protect the owner of the building. But you can do it without really getting heavily in debt and heavily burdened. So there's always ways to do it. Be creative. Ask people. Just say, hey, would you be willing to do a 6-month short-term lease? A lot of times if a property's been sitting empty, they'll work with you. So anyway, be creative. Don't go heavy into debt. Work a little harder. If stuff does go wrong and the business does go south, you're able to walk away from it a lot easier if you don't have that debt. If you have that debt, it just creates all kind of problems. So this is pretty basic. And even, I'll tell you what, definitely stay away from credit card debt. Be careful about running up your credit cards. We were doing that a little bit. We were paying them off every month. And if you are going to use credit cards, make sure you can pay them off every month. Even that, we were kind of treading, we'd been in business for a year and a half, 2 years, and we were paying our credit cards back, paying them off every month. But even that, I mean, that could have gotten dicey had something happened. And stuff does happen, so you really want to be careful. That's all I'm saying. You want to be careful. Anyway, folks, it's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, the answer is no. Don't borrow money. It's your business. You can do whatever you want. That's my best advice to you. Every time I borrowed money in the past to do something business related and either things changed or my focus turned elsewhere, I ended up losing money, having to pay back money that was just out the window. I would have been better off not doing it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, hope you have a great day. My name is Mike Honan. My website is MikeHonan.com. If you like what you're hearing, go to my website, leave your name and email address, and I'll get back to you and fill you in with exciting information in the future. Adios, amigos.